Hey guys, John here with JK Conditioning with Men's Journal, and in this video today I want to update my article 8 ways to spice up a front plank. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with all our latest fitness videos. Alright, so I was trying to come up with some new video ideas, and what I thought I would do is I would go back through my article archive and find just the articles that I've written for different magazine publications and make a video on them. So the first video that we're going to start with is an article I wrote a long time ago for what once was Men's Fitness, which is now Men's Journal, and it's called 8 Ways to Spice Up a Front Plank. So, you know, I get it, front planks can be boring, but if you do them correctly, they're actually very challenging and a very beneficial exercise to target your core. But unfortunately, a lot of people do a front plank incorrectly. So I'm gonna put a link in this corner here that discusses my 2 cues for doing a front plank correctly. And you can go watch that now and then come back to this video. Real quick, the cues are ribs up, butt in. So if you can't figure out those cues while doing a front plank, you kind of really don't have, you know, the ability to try exercise progressions in this video. So let's make sure that you have those cues down and you have the ability to do a proper front plank without spicing it up. And then once you get really good at that and you can hold that position for 60 seconds and it's perfect, then maybe we'll look at what we're gonna do in this video, which is the spice to making a front plank a little less boring and a little bit more challenging. So let's get to the challenges. All right, so the first way to challenge yourself in a front plank is to reduce stability. So when we go from 4 points of contact to 3 or 2, we're reducing the amount of stability that we have, which would then increase the challenge to the core muscles to maintain your body's position. So when we do front planks, we have to maintain our position, which is what we would call creating like a statue position or a statue pose. So the point of the exercise now is to reduce stability and then challenge your body not to move. So you want to look like you still have 4 points of contact on the ground, but have your foot in the air or your arm in the air. So the first way to spice up your front plank is to add an anterior reach. So what you want to do is form your front plank on your elbows and your toes, again, ribs up, butt in, hold that perfect plank position, and then have a object, something that you can reach that is in front of you. So you want to have it so that it's at arm's length away from you, and then what you'll do is you'll keep your plank, you'll lift your arm up, reach for the object, put your arm back, and then switch sides. Sounds easy, but the goal is not to move, not even a millimeter. So don't twist your hips, don't switch, don't swivel to the side, stay super still and reach for that object in front of you. So this is our first way to increase the challenge to your front plank by reducing stability. The next way to spice up your front plank is to add a compound movement. So we can challenge again your ability. So we're taking that first challenge and increasing it by adding a compound movement. So what that means is that you can form a front plank, but while we're in the front plank, instead of just reaching for an object, so reducing stability, we're gonna add a compound movement by adding a overhead pull. So we're gonna put a band above our head, we'll be in our front plank, and I want you to grab the band. So you're gonna be in a 3 point of contact plank, maintain your rib position, maintain your hip tucked in position, and then what I want you to do is do an overhead pull down type action as you pull your hand towards your ribs. So this compound action, again, is just gonna challenge your ability to stay still, but we're also gonna attack the lats and the arm muscles to pull that band from overhead to the ribs. All right, so the next type of plank variation that we can do is a moving plank. So we can do exercises called, you know, bear crawls. We can do a traveling plank, you know, going forward, or we can do a sideways walking plank. So what we're trying to do here is just increase the challenge, reduce the boredom while you stay in a front plank. But in this situation, we're gonna add some movement. So our example today is gonna be a front plank from the hands and the toes. And what you'll do is you'll form a tabletop position with your knees bent, with your wrists right underneath your shoulders. So make your knees hover in the air, but don't lift your hips too high, otherwise we're gonna lose position. So what you wanna do here is take 1-inch steps with your right hand and your left foot, and then take 1-inch steps with your left hand and right foot as you walk slowly forward. So we can call this like a traveling table plank, where again, you wanna maintain the rib up position, but in this instance, in this situation, we're just taking that plank from A to B. All right, so the next way to spice up your front plank is to make it eccentric. So what does that mean? So that means that you're gonna go into a position where we'll start on the knees. You can use an exercise ball. You can use hand towels on the floor underneath your hands with your arms straight. But what we're gonna challenge is, again, we're gonna take our hands from being underneath the body, and we're gonna bring the hands and the elbows above the head. So what this does, it increases the length of the lever so that your abs have to work a little harder to maintain that rib up position. So the example that we're gonna use today is a kneeling ball rollout. So you're gonna kneel on the floor with your elbows on the ball. Move the ball forward a little bit so that you're already kind of in a plank. So again, same cues apply. Ribs up, butt in. And then what I want you to do is take your arms on the ball, start with your wrists on the ball, and then you're gonna roll the ball out as you become flatter with the ground, and the ball will move from, say, your chest position to an overhead position. So again, that's gonna increase the lever. You're gonna notice more of a challenge to your core muscles to maintain your body position, and then you're gonna roll back to your starting position. All right, so the next way to spice up a plank is to add a force vector. So we're talking physics here. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do an anti-rotation press or a polyp press. So this plank, we're gonna do standing. So this is a little different. So you're gonna grab a band, you're gonna anchor it beside you. You're gonna grab the other end of the band and then walk far enough away that there's a decent amount of tension in the band. So in this position, you're gonna stand. You're gonna put your feet about hip to shoulder width apart, but no wider, because it just makes the exercise too easy. You're going to soften the knees, you're gonna tuck your hips in, and what I want you to do is keep your ribs down. But the idea is to feel the abs engage, and what you'll do is you'll have the band in front of your chest to start, and then what I want you to do is press the arms straight out and lock your elbows, and then what you'll notice is that the force vector is pulling you into a rotated position. So you have to resist the band's challenge to turn you, and you have to stay still. So this is called an anti-rotation press, and with this exercise you'll notice an increased demand on the inside half of the core muscles to keep your body in that position. Another way to challenge your front plank or to spice up your front plank is to add a ball. So an exercise that I like to coach is the jackknife. So what you do here is put your hands underneath your shoulders and you're gonna put your shins on top of an exercise ball. So same cues, ribs up, hips in, and then I want you to keep most of the weight on your hands and you're gonna pull the ball in, bring your knees in towards your stomach. You're gonna roll the ball in, keep your plank position so don't lift up your butt, and then roll the ball back out, keep your ribs up, approach that straight body, push-up style position again, and then again, pull the ball in for the next rep. All right, number 7. So to spice up the front plank, we're going to add a dynamic surface. So what we'll do here is we can do an exercise called a mountain climber. So in this case, to challenge your core more, we would do more of a slow mountain climber versus a fast mountain climber. And because we're at home right now, what we'll get you to do is put your feet on hand towels. So we can do a push-up plank. So put your shoulders over your wrists, ribs up, hips in. And what I want you to do is bring one knee and slide it underneath you. Keep the leg weightless, and you should feel extra weight, extra challenge to the core muscles to keep your body in that position. You're gonna take your leg, slide it back, and then switch sides. So if you're at home, again, hand towels work really well on a slippery surface. If you're at the gym, you can use a suspension trainer or a jungle gym type setup to replicate this challenge. And the last way number 8 to spice up your front plank, we're gonna add some weight. So when your abs are, they feel sufficiently strong to hold what I would like to say 3 60-second front planks with that ideal form, you can challenge yourself by adding weight. So if you have a workout partner, you can have them place a plate on your back. You're gonna notice, again, that plate wants to push you towards the ground, but you have to push your ribs up and push your spine into the plate to keep your position. If you don't have a workout buddy, a weight vest also works really well in this situation. Alright guys, there you have it. 8 ways that you can spice up a front plank. But again, you can only do these variations if you can do 3 60-second holds with a regular non-moving front plank. We'll see you at the next video.